Hello and welcome to another episode of my Motogp 19 career mode, and today we're here for round 3 and 4 of the Moto3 Championship at Austin and Jerez. So obviously we will be returning to a track that we've previously played in this career. If you didn't see the last episode, I do urge you to go check that out because I don't want to spoil anything, but I am about to go and look at the championship standings just to refresh everyone what happened yesterday in the previous episode. So in the previous episode we dominated the first two races, got pole and the win in both of them, and just pulled away, absolutely nowhere near us. Sergio Garcia came second in both those races, and Tommy Amos came third in both of them, so us three are a bit of a league of our own above everybody else. Darren Binder in 4th, Dalla Porta in 5th, who have swapped places after the second race. Romano Finite moved up to 6th, 7th for Canet, 8th for Masia, 9th for Toba, and 10th for Foggia, who moved up a couple of places there. Just to show as well, we are running 120% AI, we have been the whole series. Because I did see a couple of people, well I actually think it was one asking, and I knew that I'd set it to 120% before, but I didn't know if the game had glitched out and changed it back, but here you are on 120%. So yeah, the AI just, the neural AI kind of haven't turned up in the first two races, unfortunately. Hopefully they will sort of fight back in this one, because I don't want to dominate every race, it's a bit boring. It was a bit like that in the Cal Crutchlow Championship that I did on the previous game. I won every race in the season, but I pretty much won. I won 2/3 of them like easily, like take the lead in like lap 3 and just like bowl away because I did like 5-lap races. Probably should have done 3-lap races because then I probably wouldn't have been able to win every time. But anyway, without further ado, I'll head into the weekend and I'll probably just cut to the end of practice after I've completed my objectives. Right, so at the end of practice then, we did manage to achieve pretty much all of our objectives. To be honest, I only did 3 laps of the 5 laps well, I actually had to do all 5, but I only did 4 valid laps because I managed to accidentally corner cut one of them, which is so annoying because it was wet. Obviously, as you can see on the track, the session was wet, which meant we were doing 2:24. Well, 2:24 was my qualifying run, so I was doing like 2:27s most of the time on like the dead tyres at the end. So that was taking ages, that 5-lap one. So I invalidated it and I had to do it. I had to just leave it. I didn't want to have to do it again. But I did achieve all the other objectives, and as you can see, we're 4.1 seconds quicker than Sergio Garcia here, so a bit dodgy. I did show you obviously at the start of the episode, we are still running 120%, so I don't know why this is happening. But yeah, we'll head into qualifying. Obviously, we're straight through to Q2. And right, so we're coming out onto track. Obviously, you can see it's raining even more. It was just wet track in the previous one, so I assume the lap times will probably be a couple seconds slower again. And we are on the medium tyres as well this time because it didn't let me pick any soft tyres, so I was like, okay, that's fair, I guess. I'll try and go for some quick like the quickest lap time I can really go for. Might be a bit more of an equaliser with the AI, but I don't think so. It seems like they were struggling a lot to keep up with me, just around every sector really. I thought it would be the first sector like previous games, but actually they're not too bad through there. It's the rest of the track they lose the lap times. Mainly sectors 3 and 4, I would say. Seeing Tom Booth Amos in front of us, this might be quite a good gauge of how much time they are losing in different sections of the track, although I'm losing the rear end, to be fair, because of how wet it is. It's obviously heavy rain, which I don't think I've actually played in yet. I think it was light rain at, I don't actually think there is only just one type of rain. We have already caught up to him in this first sector, and he's not really left me a gap, so I can't get past him. Yeah, this is a bit annoying really, because he's just gone out the pits, so he should really have got out of my way there. He's kind of ruined my flow, because I was looking for a way to get past him. And again, he's getting right on my lines, where I want to be. Put the inside bit of contact with him there. I clipped the inside curve, that was a mistake, but he held me up for a whole sector, so I wasn't very happy with him, to be fair. He's going to come back up the inside again, isn't he? Yes, he is. Oh, Tom, what are you doing, mate? Causing some problems for me here in qualifying. Gonna have to really push a little bit harder on this lap then to get the lap time, because obviously we've actually been slowed down to his pace for most of the lap, which I know obviously he is the probably top 3 AI, but that allows Garcia basically to have an attack at pole if we're doing Amos's times, so we definitely need to. The rear tyre is spinning so much in these wet conditions, much more than they were in the other ones in the light rain, which I guess makes sense. This is a really horrible corner for the tyres. You can see the bike is trying to kill me here, trying to throw me off. Try not to cut that because you're pretty sure you're getting validated for that. See, I'm not going as quick as I want to, because we aren't really catching Sasaki much. We gain a bit in the last sector, we ran a bit wide. I'd rather not do another qualifying lap if I can help it though. Really use some wheel spin. Slipstream from Sasaki up to the line. We got a bit held up by him there. 130.8. Oh, that is so much slower than what we were doing in practice. I did a 25 on mediums to point that out in one of the stints. So obviously the heavy rain along with Tom holding us up has really cost us a lot of lap time there. But I'll head back to the pits and hopefully we'll still be in a good position. So with around 4 minutes to go, we are still actually pole, surprisingly enough. But obviously, as you can see, it is quite, well, I wouldn't really call 1.7 seconds being on pole a small margin, but compared to practice, where I was 4.7 seconds in front, it is quite a small margin. Obviously, wasn't the best lap. I was making a few mistakes. The tyres were spinning horrendously compared to practice. Obviously, as well, we got held up. So it wasn't great. Tom is currently 5th, 2 seconds off, so I suppose that would kind of explain why once we got past him, we didn't completely leave him for dust, because we'd already caught him by quite a bit, so that 2 seconds probably had to basically come in the last sector and the first sector, really. But yeah, I'll skip to the end of the session. Hopefully we are still on pole for the race. So the standings seem to stay as they were, so I'm on pole ahead of Canet in 2nd, Romano Finati 3rd, Masia 4th, Binder 5th, Amos drops down, Tom Booth Amos drops down to 6th, 7th for Dalla Porta, 8th for Foggia, 9th for Rodrigo and 10th for Arenas. I don't know where Garcia is. Garcia's 15th. Ooh, he struggled in this one. That's definitely going to help us out in the championship. So yeah, without further ado, let's head to the race, and we've got to try and capitalise on Garcia and actually Tom Booth Amos's poor performances there.
We're now transmitting from the starting grid where everything seems ready. It's always difficult to predict the results of a Moto3 race, but the riders we're seeing right now definitely seem to be the favourites.
So it is still raining for this session, so a fully wet weekend then. So I need to change the tyres. Is there not a harder option I could put on the rear? Ooh, there's not. There is only medium tyres. That's a problem, because I would have really liked to have put like sort of a hard tyre on the rear. But it seems like we can't do that, so that's unfortunate. But got to have the same plan as we did in the first 2 races. Just try and get a little bit of a lead out in the first sector, and then just try and carry that to the victory if I can. Obviously try and extend it as well. First few laps usually tend to go in my favour, and it sort of swings back. I feel like this one will be a bit more like Qatar, where they're catching me at the end, because I'm not going to look after this tyre if I'm pushing to build out a gap, and I can't go for a harder tyre because it won't let me. So it's a bit of a shame, but you know, doesn't matter too much. We're still on pole at the end of the day by quite a big margin, really. So we should have the pace to try and get away, unfortunately. I know, obviously, that's probably not the right word, unfortunately, because I should be happy that I'm winning the championship. But at the same time, you know, I wish that AI were giving me a bit more, you know, making me push a little bit more. But anyway, without further ado, no more rambling. Let's head into the race.
While the race officials are waving the green flag, the riders gather their final thoughts and get ready to race another US Grand Prix here at Austin.
So obviously we do have Canet and Finati alongside us, which is probably a bit more who you would expect at the front, although Finati has been struggling quite a bit this season. We have the light scar for this Austin, Texas Grand Prix, and I had horrendous wheel spin off the line there. Not sure what that was all about, but we've managed to get a really good launch in the second phase, and we're back up into the lead. So we did lose it for a second there to Canet as we head for the apex of the first corner. I've run in a bit hot, so maybe the AI will attack. It's a lift. We expect the lap times to be quite slow, considering that obviously it's okay. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but Ice Cream Man's has gone past my house, so sorry about that. Can't really do a lot about it. Oh, curve on the inside a little bit there. See what the gap is at the end of this sector. Oh, this tyre is spinning. 1.6 seconds, so not as big as I would have liked, really. I think it's a bit smaller than what we had at Argentina. In Argentina we really dominated. And look at that, the rear tyre is already so hot, 152 degrees already. We are going to be struggling in this race, so I've got to really try and look after this tyre, but at the same time keep the lead. So the wet conditions, the the full wet kit. Oh, I've lost the front. I'm down. I've lost the front. That's completely took me by surprise. I was distracted there. Oh, and we've had contact with Dennis Fodger. Okay, that was kind of my fault there for rejoining the track like I did. But I was sort of flustered. Right, this is going to be an interesting race now. Using the slipstream and Dalla Porta. Split in the middle of them. Garcia's in front of us now. Our championship rival. Watch out for this hairpin. It might come on the inside. Yeah, Dalla Porta got the inside of me, but that was fair enough. At least the tyres cooled down a little bit, I think, from that crash. Should have got the inside of Garcia. Oh, a bit of contact. We're stuck on him. I can't really do anything now. We went for the inside and we sort of got stuck with him. But we're through now. And Tom is going slow in front of us as well. Although I've missed the left-hander. It's apex a lot. I am struggling for grip here. But we've got a much better exit than Tom. Back up into 5th place now. Fourth is Canet, and he is the next target. See, the AI are also struggling with the spinning as well, it seems. On the inside of Canet we go. I have just about got that stopped. Nice one. Forced him a bit wide with us, unfortunately. It's a bit of an aggressive move, but not a lot you can do. Binder is the next target now. At least it's going to be a bit more of an interesting race. Got to fight his way through. Might be a bit of a longer episode because of that. So apologies. To the right hand side of Binder we go, hitting the brakes at the hill. And the AI tend to brake a little bit later than me into this first corner, but they just don't get the power down quite well enough. See if I can just run it around the outside of him. Not really got the pace to do that. See, look how dark the clouds are. It really is miserable. On the inside of Binder we go though. We've got to cut him up a bit to get the bike stopped. Next up is Masia. And then it's race leader Finati. It's only a 4-lap race, remember, so... In fact, I never even stated it, but it's only a 4-lap race, because obviously it's a longer circuit, so we have got to get a move on. I don't think we're going to win by too much, if we win at all, obviously. Be a bit... You know, we could definitely lose some time later on in the race, but... Coming down towards the section where I crashed last lap. I do feel bad about knocking Fodger off, but there's not a lot I could do. Well, I just turned back onto the track without thinking. I didn't see him there, so we haven't crashed this time. Oh, we are spinning the rear though. Look at that tyre, so hot. We're using the slipstream off Masia. We got past him. And there's Finati as well. Also got a good run on him. Past Finati as well. Over to the lead of the race. But I'm assuming they'll probably come back at me in the hairpin because they usually do pretty good at the hairpin. Yeah, here comes Masia. Go up into first once again. Masia tries to go around us, but he's not really managed to do that. I've lost the rear going in there. I think that's what I did into the back of Garcia last lap actually. We are now back up into the lead again. Yeah, I just want to try and get my head down, but I also just want to let this rear tyre cool a little bit because it's a bit too hot, so I'm spinning a bit too much. I don't want to lose too much tyre life out of the rear tyre. 1.5 seconds now. Okay, so that lap I absolutely demoralised them. We got to 4.8 seconds at the last intermediate in front. So let's see what it is over the line. Not sure what it is, but Dalla Porta did get up from 4th to 2nd, I did see. So Dalla Porta is now on chasing, so it's still 4.8. But yeah, absolutely destroyed them on that lap. Or built the gap out by about 3 seconds. So last lap now, and hopefully we can just bring this one home. Into the last corner we go then. Oh, the rear stepped out. Oh, that was close to a crash. Out the last corner though, spin up that rear tyre, do a bit of a wheelie. Well, towards the line, over the line we go. Another win, that's 3 from 3 so far in 2019.
While the riders complete their victory lap, let's take a look at the final ranking of the Moto3 race.
So we absolutely destroyed the AI in that race. We won by 6.2 seconds despite the fact we fell off on the first lap. So I would not expect something like that. Dalla Porta came 2nd, Jaume Masia 3rd, Kaita Toba 4th, Romano Finati 5th, Darren Binder 6th, Garcia got 7th in the end, Canet got 8th, 9th for Tom Booth Amos, and 10th for Albert Arena. So not a good race for my championship rivals there. That's definitely going to help me out in the championship. So let's have a look at the championship. So we do extend our lead now massively to 26 points ahead of Sergio Garcia in second position. Third, that is now Lorenzo Dalla Porte, moves up ahead of Tom Booth-Amos. Yama Masia moves back up to 5th place, moves up 3 places there. Romano Finati stays in 6th, 7th for Darren Binder, now he moves down 3 places. Kai Satoba moves up 1 ahead of Aaron Canet, and Marcos Ramirez rounds off the top 10. Let's have a look at the Teams Championship now. After that pretty good race for me, obviously CIP not having the best race, we managed to extend our championship lead to 15 points ahead of them. Leopard Racing move up to 3rd place, 4th for Estrella Galicia, and 5th for Besta Capital Dubai. So we'll head into Parc Fermé and then the Career Hub and see if we can get any upgrades, which I don't think we can, and then we'll head into Jerez, and then obviously that'll be the last race of the episode.
This rider has been able to impose a frantic pace on today's race, and now he and his mechanics are rightly going to party.
I feel like that voice line and the cutscene are going to probably get a bit repetitive after a while, because there seems to be about 2 versions of it. We hear it pretty much every time, but you can't be disappointed with yet another victory in this class. Although I am a little disappointed that AI couldn't challenge me more. I gave them the biggest opportunity I've ever given them by losing the front, but they couldn't do it. The game really tried to help them by making it wet, because it seemed like they probably were a bit closer to me in actual wet conditions, but still nowhere close. In the end, we do gain 640 points for the objective, top 10 in qualifying, 544 for getting on pole position, and another 880 for that as well, I think. No, I think I've just realised how this works as well here. Not too sure. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure actually how it works. Seems to be a bit random the way it gives you position bonus, but then also gives you points for getting a certain position. I don't know. It seems a bit weird to me, but anyway, 1,280 points there for the race objective, finishing in the top 10. 816 for finishing first, another 270 position bonus as well. And then the bonus options, 2,163 then in total. In the weekend we got 5,893, and in total now we have 25,132. And if you look at the contract status, we're way past team leader, and we're pretty much almost full now. Yeah, that's the 5 laps that I failed there. So we got 30 of, well, we got 25 of the possible 30. Now we have 50 total, which means we can't upgrade anything. So let's have a look at the news from the MotoGP world then. Austin Marquez triumphs. Impressive race for the Honda rider, and we're only at the beginning. Well, considering how wet it was, you'd think it would be like at least a little bit wet for the MotoGP race, but there you go. Rins second and Dovizioso third, crosses the line behind him. Style and entertainment in Moto2 and Moto3, where the riders Baldassari and Biker prevail. So it looks like Baldassari stamping his authority down in Moto2. But we may as well head into Jerez now. At the end, I'll probably see you at the end of practice after I've done all my objectives. Right, so at the end of practice then, we did manage to complete all of our objectives, and in the qualifying run we did go a bit quicker than the AI, so we're about, what, 1.6 seconds quicker than the AI, just about there, which, to be fair, isn't too bad. It's closer than it was, you know, at Austin, and at probably Termas, I think, as well, so it might be a bit more of a closer race. Sort of the usual top few as well, so I'm fastest, Sergio Garcia second, and Tom Booth-Amos third, so that's sort of what I expect. Obviously those two had a bit of a poor race in Austin, so let's head into qualifying, and hopefully I can try and get 4 poles in a row. Right, so I'm on my qualifying lap now, and I must say, I took probably about a half an hour break, and between that there was a patch, so that's why the HUD seems different. I've just jumped out in the game, and I'm pretty sure the physics felt a little different going in there as well. So, oh my god, they feel so different. So much fun. They've increased the vibration to the controller, I think. Okay, alright, interesting. They've changed a few things. So, the AI might actually be quite good. I don't know, they might be better. So I thought I'd mention that, because they might just be a lot better all of a sudden than they were earlier on. And also my lap might be a bit scruffy because I've got to get back in the zone of the bike. Because I took a bit of a little break between. I did the practice sessions and then I've come back on the game for this, so it does feel like you're getting a lot more feedback through the controller, which is good. That means the physics aren't different, so it's good. But compared to the lack of feedback there was before, I'm glad that they listened. I'll have to have a look at the patch notes later. And I've just been speaking about the patch pretty much the entire lap, but it's probably the biggest thing that's happened. So. Around Helnieto with the bike. Okay. So we're doing like 150s earlier. We did a 49, I think, didn't we, in practice, if I remember correctly. So hopefully we'll be aiming for somewhere around there. Might be a little bit off that because I won't be quite as dialed in as I was then. Although I must say this has been a pretty decent lap, so. Towards the line, although it does seem like we're going to be a bit off that. 52.7. Actually, I'm probably going to go for the lap there. Alright, last corner. It was a good start to the lap. Made a few mistakes in the last sector though. We did go a bit quicker. 51.5 now, so 3/10 off again, I think. Well, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. It's very interesting. Milestone have definitely threw us a curveball there. We seem to be massively off the pace. So what they've done is, I think the AI are probably a little quicker. It looks like the balancing is quite nice as well. Obviously Garcia's near the back, same with Amos. Obviously, but Antonelli, Masia, Canet, Dalla Porta, you know, the usual guys that be at the front. I think McPhee was in Q1, otherwise I'm sure he would be up there as well. So it's going to be a bit of a jumbled up race, I would say, but I think it should be probably back to normal for the next one. In terms of it should be realistic sort of positions for everybody. It seems like they made the bikes slower. Mainly on the, I think mainly on the ability of the brakes are probably a little bit, and the downshifts aren't, you can't really use them to your advantage as much. So it's going to be a really interesting race. We were 1.1 seconds off, so yeah, we were in a bit of trouble. I don't really know. I've just got to try and salvage a good finish from this. I mean, we've got a nice lead over these guys in the championship, but this can't happen more than this. We can't really start qualifying really low down like this. So we are going to actually have to really push it to the limit to try and get some positions in this race. Okay, so I would have cut to the bit where Keith talks, but he literally was just speaking on the loading screen for some reason. So apologies for that, but I'm going to change my tyres. So I'm going to put a soft front on, I think. And we'll go with a no, not that 69% medium rear, the 100% medium rear. We used a lot of tyres this weekend. We used quite a few in practice because I messed up some of the objectives, which is kind of starting to bite me now. But it seems like the order is sorted, so people like Tom with Amos aren't, you know, getting on like the top 3 and things like that, which seems nice. But also we've been, you know, pushed back. We've definitely, you know, we've built out a big lead in this championship, but they are going to come back very easily because we seem quite slow in comparison. You know, Jerez maybe not my best track, so maybe we'll come back for Le Mans, I'm not too sure. But I'm going to push as hard as I can in this race, but without further ado, let's get this race underway.
Just a few moments to go until the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. These riders know it will be vitally important to take the first curve perfectly.
It will be vitally important to take the first curve perfectly, especially with this, well, this low qualifying position we got due to these new physics. Oh, not a bad start. Try and get some stream off Fogger. That was maybe a little less me getting a good start, maybe a bit more than Fogger getting a bad one, but head into turn 1. I've dived at the inside of Darren Binder on the throttle as early as I can. Come on. Dive it into Mitchell on the inside. Toba get pushed out the way by Ramirez up to 4th. It's been a good start. I know I need to dive all these people because I've not got the pace to run with them. I saw that in qualifying. I couldn't even get close at lap times. So I need to try and pass them and then just hold them up. Oh, bit of contact with Ramirez into there. He kind of went on a different line than I was expecting. I thought he was going to open up the inside still, but he didn't. So he clattered into the back of him. But we are up to 4th, so it's not too bad, and we've got a bit of a gap to the group behind, but I feel like we're not going to get any higher than this because they have already got a little bit of a break, not enough really to dive. So maybe if they go defensive somewhere, maybe. maybe I can have a go, but just sort of maybe try and take advantage of that. They're still a little bit slow on the first lap, it seems. But that was a mistake from me, so that didn't help. But I must say, you can't be so aggressive on the downshifts to stop the bike, so I'm not sure where the lap time is going to come from now. But there we go. Front end feel isn't fantastic either. You seem to get a bit more rumble on the curbs. Oh no! That was not good, Antonelli. To force Antonelli wide. So we clipped that inside curb. Luckily we managed to keep fourth, but the gap we had is gone. And I thought that gap was really handy, so it's a bit of a problem. Massively off can it there because obviously that mistake. Antonelli goes back through, he kind of brake checks me as well, which is a little bit weird. It's kind of, yeah, it's a bit rude of Antonelli that was, so we're going to go back at him, at Michelin. Oh, better cut, yeah, that was, there you go, revenge, we'll call that. I kind of got in a bit hot, almost crashed and kind of made him sit up. So, he's going to try and come on the inside, but that would be a dangerous pace to go for a move into turn 4. Maybe we'll consider it down into Ceto Ponds, or more likely than not just on the straight between that and Danny Petrucci. No, he's gone through. There's something to be learnt from them with that line, definitely. Look at the exit he got. So whether they've increased the AI straight line speed and like decreased mine, or yeah, but it's probably more likely that they've decreased mine because I'm not hitting the same lap times before, but also it does seem like the bike isn't quite as nice in the corners, which is a bit of a shame. I was really enjoying how it felt, to be honest. Down towards the last corner then now. Out the last corner we go. We have just hung on to 5th place, which, to be fair, that is quite satisfying. I managed to keep this whole train behind me, but that was not the end of the race, was it? No, it was not. Okay, that's a bit embarrassing. I thought I was the last lap. Okay, never mind. Oh, Suzuki's fell off behind us though. Okay, this time it actually is the last lap. So into the last corner we go. And we once again have done the same thing. We managed to hang on. I feel a bit stupid. I can't believe I actually thought the race was done, but luckily I didn't let go of the controls. So it is going to be P5. Not too happy with that, to be honest, but what can you do, really? Nothing I could do.
Ferme is starting to fill up with the stars of the race. So let's take a look at a graphic of the official results of the just finished Moto3 race.
So like I did, I think I made a comment on it in the race, it does seem like it's the same thing that happened in Red Bull Rookies at this track. The front 4 did really quick lap times compared to everybody else, and then everybody else was about the same as me, which it does, like, they're a few tenths quicker than me, sure. But yeah, the new physics have definitely messed me up a bit, but it has added a certain spice to the series that I suppose it did need, and I did complain about that cutscene that I don't have to see again now, so I suppose that makes sense. But Aaron Canet won the race ahead of Yamaha Masia in 2nd place by 28 thousandths of a second, Marcos Ramirez 3rd, Nicola Antonelli 4th, I came home in 5th place, 6th place for Mignau, 7th for Binder, 8th for Kotoba, 9th for Dalla Porta, and 10th for Rodrigo. Moving on to the Riders' Championship. Masia jumps up 3 places there to 3rd. My lead, I think, is down to 31 points now. So, or is it up? I don't know. 31 points, still quite a comfortable lead to have after 4 races, to be fair. I can't really complain too much. Aaron Canet jumps up 6 places in the championship to be 34 points behind me. Sergio Garcia loses a few positions, drops down to 4th. Dalla Porta drops down to 5th. Tom Bithamos drops down to 6th. Binder stays 7th. Toba stays 8th. Romano Finale drops down to 9th. And Ramirez stays in 10th position. Let's have a look at the Teams Championship. So we extend our lead ahead of CIP to 20 points now, because Rodrigo, I think he did a bit better in that race. And the 2 CIP not so much, because obviously the pilot stats are sort of fixed now. Leopard Racing stay 3rd, Best of Capital Dubai move up 1 to 4th. Canet's team, so the Max Racing team, moves up to 5th place. Estrella Galizia moves down 2 places to 6th. Snipers moves down 1 to 7th. Down to 8th for Honda Team Asia, 658 move up, because both their riders but pretty good at the front there. 10th still for Sky, VR46, down 2 places for Qatar and Helnieto team. to also Patronus Racing and Bristol GP, RBA, Red Bull KTM team and the Royal Avinti team also all have no points. So let's head into the garage and then see what happens in the career hub as well. Obviously we did struggle a little bit in that race, but well, it was down to the patch really. I can't really feel like making excuses, but it wasn't my fault. So whatever, we'll head into that, like I said, and we'll round the episode off there.
Today's result was very positive, as you can tell from the mechanics' reaction in the pit. Of course, there's still a little more to go to make the podium, but they are definitely on the right path.
So they all seem pretty happy. I mean, I suppose compared to my qualifying, I did a pretty good job. It was a bit aggressive, like I said, but sometimes you've got to be aggressive, sometimes you've got to get your elbows out. That's how you succeed here. So we, for the objective, so I think I see how this works now. We got the objective for qualifying in the top 10, and you get, you know, a certain amount for qualifying, you know, in the correct position. Then it's like how much further are you in front of your objective. So that's how it works. So we got 640 for getting the objective, and then 336 for qualifying 10th in the race. We got 1,280 for beating our objective there. We got 624 points for 5th place and 150 bonus for obviously beating that score. And the bonus options we got 1,757. For the weekend in total we got 4,787, so a bit less than normal. Probably about actually quite a bit less than normal. And then in total now we have 29,919. We did achieve all of the objectives, so we do actually have some money to spend on the development. So let's go on to the development. What should we get? I want to get the frame vibration reduction because I want the bike to be a bit more stable. So that's what I'm going to go for. So it costs 90 for the next upgrade, and then obviously we can't afford any more upgrades, so that's the upgrade's done. So let's read the news from the Motogp world. So what a couple. Dovizioso and Ducati team win together at Jerez. Marquez second and Rossi third, stated after the race, but the winner started as the race favourites. I can't believe I've misread that sentence, so let's try that again. Marquez second and Rossi third started as race favourites, but the winner took them by surprise. Moto2 and Moto3, they came from outer space. Marquez and Canet win their races with their performances that were out of this world. And apparently transfer rumours, it's open season for me. According to rumours, apparently I'm interested in moving to Red Bull KTM. So well, I don't think I am, but there you go. So I guess there's a transfer window coming up soon. But I think that's pretty much, you know, round it off for this episode of career mode. So it was a bit of a shock to the system there for them to change it midway between practice and qualifying, but that's sometimes what you have when you play a game. There can be changes during an episode of a series. But I hope you've enjoyed that one. It should be a bit better from now on, I suppose, if the AI are battling. I'm definitely going to have to try and practice and get sort of back up to a decent level, because that you know, that's just my raw first experience with the new physics, so I'm not going to be that great. So we didn't do too bad in the end. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, and I shall see you in the next one.